Hi, my name is Dr. Manus. In this video, I will be providing a brief introduction to persuasion. Let's get started. The key concept we will cover in this video is that persuasion is an active attempt to change attitudes. This is, of course, job number one for many marketers. Marketers try to persuade consumers by using basic psychological principles. There are 6 general approaches to persuasion. The first is reciprocity, where consumers are more likely to give if they first receive. For example, companies will oftentimes give free samples to encourage consumers to purchase their products. We're also familiar with the freemium strategy used by most app developers, where they offer a free version that has ads associated with it, and a paid version which removes the ads and oftentimes includes some additional features. The second approach is scarcity, where consumers tend to find things that are not readily available more desirable. Marketers will oftentimes employ phrases like "only 5 left" or "offer expires at midnight" as powerful motivators to get consumers to purchase their products. You might have also seen these whenever you go to purchase plane tickets or whenever you're looking to book a hotel, because they want you to believe that there is a limited inventory available. The third general approach to persuasion is authority, where consumers tend to believe authoritative sources. For example, Apple uses the title Apple Genius for their support staff. Shopify uses the title Shopify Experts. Some advertisements also include authority figures or industry leaders to appeal to consumers. The fourth general approach to persuasion is commitment or consistency, where consumers try not to contradict what they've said before. A common use of this is on websites where there is a sign up pop-up that appears that has in small font, "I'll sign up later," which subconsciously encourages consumers to come back to sign up for their email list. The fifth approach to persuasion is liking, where this states that consumers will agree with those they like or admire. Salespeople work to establish common ground with their prospects. They determine if the customer is a golfer, a football fan, a graduate of the same university, or other means to try to build likability. The last approach to persuasion is consensus, where consumers will consider what others do before they decide what to do. For example, consumers often choose the crowded restaurant over the nearly empty one, even though they'll be served more slowly. Marketers often try to persuade consumers through their marketing communication efforts. An effective marketing message should take into account the basic principles of communication. The traditional communication process involves 3 components: a sender, for example, a company; the message itself, so for example, an advertisement; and the receiver or audience that has to interpret the message. Throughout the communication process, there is noise in the environment that can cause a message to get distorted. An updated communication model includes multiple senders influencing multiple receivers through their communication medium and receivers communicating with one another. Marketers use different types of message appeals to persuade consumers. One is emotional versus rational appeals, which ask the question, which is better, to appeal to the head or the heart? The answer often depends on the nature of the product and the type of relationship consumers have with it. It's hard to gauge the precise effects of rational versus emotional appeals. Another is sex appeals, echoing the widely held belief that sex sells. Many marketing communication efforts for products feature heavy doses of erotic suggestions that range from subtle hints to blatant displays of skin. One company that has engaged in sex appeals for many years is Carl's Jr. They've since stopped trying to use sex appeals in their advertisements. We also have humorous appeals. Overall, funny advertisements do get attention. However, the verdict is mixed as to whether humorous affects recall or product attitudes in a significant way. Finally, there are fear appeals, which emphasize the negative consequences that can occur unless the consumer purchases a particular product or changes a behavior and attitude. There's a great advertisement for Simply Safe that really evokes and tries to appeal to fear through their advertisement. Comparative advertising refers to a message that compares two or more recognizable brands and weighs them in terms of one or more specific attributes. For example, Arby's could use the slogan, "Unlike McDonald's, all of Arby's chicken sandwiches are made with 100% all-natural chicken." This is an explicit comparison because they mention McDonald's. Sometimes marketers use implicit comparisons without directly referring to their competitor's product. Although some comparative ads result in desired attitude change, they may also be lower in believability and stir up source derogation, where the consumer may doubt the credibility of a biased presentation. So in this, we have the McRib, and the McRib sandwich is one that most people are familiar with from McDonald's. Arby's recently released an ad where they use implicit comparative advertising to compare their new rib sandwich with the McRib, but they don't mention McDonald's in their advertisement. The last thing that we're going to cover in this video is product placement and branded entertainment. Product placement is the insertion of real products in fictional movies, TV shows, books, and plays. Directors often incorporate branded props for realism. However, at other times, this placement comes with a fee. Brands will pay large sums of money to be included in popular programming. Online video gamers also use persuasion through in-game advertising, where advertisements are strategically placed in video games, such as this M&M's ad. That concludes this video on persuasion. If you would like to learn more about persuasion or learn more about other consumer behavior topics, please watch my other videos. If you have questions, please feel free to email me at kmanus@nmsu.edu.